All right, it's 2:15. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for attending this Windows Analytics overview. This mic too close. Can everybody hear me? Okay. My name is Rama Shastri. I'm a PM in the Windows engineering organization, and my partner in crime here is Mark Shepard. Both of us are going to give you a high-level overview of Windows Analytics today. How many of the people in the room know what Windows Analytics is and are using Windows Analytics? That's pretty cool. Okay. What we're going to do is start with a few slides, and we want to kind of keep the slideware to a minimum, and because we're so excited about showing you this stuff. So we're going to spend the majority of the time in this session on live demos. Okay. So, and then feel free to interrupt us at any point in time. If you have a question, just step up to the mic in the center of the aisles so that everybody can hear the question, and then we can use this as an interactive session. Okay? So I'm going to start with digital transformation. Of course, the theme of this conference, you've heard this in the keynotes, the world is moving towards modern IT, and everybody is trying to transform their businesses. What does that mean for IT, though? And we have this classic IT model, and then everybody talks about modern IT. I wanted to spend a couple of minutes talking about what the differences are. You know, the classic IT model is based on the late 80s time frame when everybody had like one computer, and that was usually at work, and you would go to work, do your job, and then go home and never have to worry about email or text or any work-related stuff, right? Wasn't that great? And then, of course, today, not only do you have a work machine, you have probably multiple work machines, multiple home machines, you've got mobile devices, and people constantly spend their time on these devices. And then with that, data has become pervasive across these devices as well. You find your personal data on work machines, and you find your work data on personal machines, and then handling all of this data across all of these devices is becoming a challenge as well. And that's where I think cloud managed and these SaaS managed apps come in, right? So you put your apps on the cloud, and regardless of which machine you are in, depending on what your identity is, you have access to your apps and all the content associated with those apps. And then as the world evolves, we're moving more and more from manual intervention to more automated, and moving from the reactive world to the proactive world. So that's another difference in this modern IT paradigm. And then this is feedback we hear, like end users want a lot more control over their devices, and that's where the self-service piece comes in. We see a constant tension between, hey, I don't want my users to have admin privileges on their machines, to, hey, I want them to have enough permissions so that they can go off and do their own stuff without necessarily calling support all the time. So as we make this transition, obviously this is not a trivial change, and it's not going to happen overnight. So what we want to do is we foresee that our customers are going to stay in this hybrid paradigm for a while. And we think of these as building a bridge between the classic IT and the modern IT. And you probably have heard about this term co-management, and that's something that we're lighting up, and we announced at this conference. You're going to see like our legacy tools. Our legacy tools coexist with the modern tools, and this is where we're letting SCCM and Intune agents coexist on the machine so that you can manage certain workloads across both of them. But the piece about analytics here is, as people make the transition to modern IT, data-driven insights and analytics is going to become very foundational to moving our IT operations to this modern IT paradigm. And then, of course, that's the reason we announced this Microsoft 365 program, is because we feel a combination of Windows 10, the Office 365 Pro Plus, and the Enterprise Management Suite enterprise mobility suite and security suite are the best combination of the best tools to go operate in this modern IT world. So what does that really mean? What does an M365 device give you? Obviously, it gives you this inbuilt security, which is a big word right now with all the attacks going on with ransomware. But then it also is easy to deploy and manage. And that's where a lot of the talk with autopilot and AAD and identity management, all of that stuff comes in. And deploying and managing devices has become seamless. And we're trying to connect all of these pieces and make it really simple. The other aspect, the third pillar of this is we want to keep all of these devices up to date. Why is that important? It's important because, obviously for security reasons, you don't want to get hacked or compromised because there is a threat surface. We are constantly releasing security updates that keep your devices safe. But also, as we release feature updates, both on Windows as well as Office, we're innovating and constantly adding new features. For example, ink, speech recognition, face recognition. All of these features help enterprises adopt and create richer and productive content for their employees. And then lastly, we have this proactive insights pillar, which is also a core piece of the M365 device. And that's where we want to spend most of our time. And this talk is about Windows Analytics, which fits in that pillar. Okay. So quick overview for those of you who are not familiar with Windows Analytics. Windows Analytics right now has 3 solutions. The first one is called Upgrade Readiness. It's primarily focused on generating readiness insights for your devices and drivers and applications, and especially focusing on the compatibility aspect of it. The second solution in this basket is called Update Compliance, and this is where you use these insights to make sure that not only is your device up to date, but from an anti-malware perspective, is your signatures up to date. Okay? So the entire second solution is about keeping your devices up to date. And then the third solution in the service is called Device Health. And this is about bringing help desk costs down, your support costs down, because we can tell you, and you can constantly monitor your devices and know about things like your OS health and your OS crashes. We're going to add in the future application crashes and application reliability, driver reliability, logon performance, a lot of these kind of insights that can help you monitor your environment very deeply. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes talking about telemetry, and there's a lot of fear and anxiety about, hey, what is this telemetry and why is Microsoft collecting all this data? What are we doing about it? Okay. So you start off at the left bottom corner. That's your client machine. You enable data to flow from the client over to this Microsoft service. The data shows up in our cloud, and I'm going to show you the exact settings of how this works, because what you need to do is, especially for commercial customers, we ask that you stamp your desktop client with a GUID. And that GUID is what helps us identify that a group of machines belong to a certain customer. And as we process this in the back end, we're going to push those group of machines over to a cloud dashboard, which we've built on this operations management suite platform. And from there, you can log in and actually look at your insights. Okay. And I'm going to show you all of this stuff in a minute, and it'll make a lot more sense. And then lastly, we want to make sure we close the loop with you have full control over how you configure these clients, how much data you want to share with us. Obviously, the amount of data you share with us is directly proportional to the type of insights you get. And then on top of it, what we're trying to do is make the integration between analytics and your deployment management tools seamless so that actionability becomes easy. Right? So analytics by itself or insights by itself is not very useful unless you can take action on those insights. And that's the area that we're trying to invest a lot more on. One of the first steps we've taken is we've integrated upgrade readiness insights with Config Manager. So upgrade readiness can tell you which machines are actually ready to upgrade from a compatibility perspective. And once you get a list of machines that are ready to upgrade, you can actually get the same data into your SCCM console, and from there you can configure a collection and then start your deployment task sequence. It can get as simple as that. And the Config Manager team has written a connector that can help pull this data from OMS into Config Manager, and then from there you basically start your task sequence. Okay? And that's an area we will continue to invest in as we evolve. Windows Analytics obviously is a cloud-based service, so we will iterate through this very fast as we get feedback from you. But that's also an important point. We're constantly listening, and if you have ideas for a particular area or an insight, we're open to suggestions. Wanted to throw this up. These are a few large customers who are using this service. They're very happy with what they see, but we constantly engage with a lot of big customers. Not everybody agrees to share their name publicly, but I just want to kind of throw this out there. Okay. So I'm going to switch over to the demo right now. And I want to start off with OMS for a minute. So OMS, if you go to Microsoft.com whack OMS, that's their homepage, you can sign up for a free OMS workspace. And what you need to do is, once you sign up for the OMS workspace, you have to associate or link an Azure subscription to it. And most of our customers usually bring in their Azure subscription and link their Azure subscription. And then from that point on, if your clients are configured correctly, then they will start sending data over to this workspace. You can log into OMS using your AAD org credentials, or you could use your MSA credentials if your organization is not yet on AAD. But we highly recommend that you use AAD credentials. Okay? So here you see what we call an empty OMS workspace. I'm logged in into a workspace. I want to show a couple of things before I move on to another workspace which has a bunch of data where I'll show you a lot more insights. The first thing I want to show you is OMS recently made a change to their backend to move to a much faster backend. And so once you log into OMS, if you're new to OMS and you have no solutions there, once you log into OMS, you're going to see this message at the top, which says, hey, start planning, and then it'll say log analytics is enhanced. Okay? We highly recommend that you upgrade your OMS workspace immediately if you do not have any other solutions in this workspace. Okay? The upgrade process is really simple and super fast. I'm going to do this real quick. Upgrade started. And of course, my session's expired. Let's see how that works. Of course. All right, let me come back to this. I'm going to try one more time. I want to show you something really cool. All right, it seems like the stars are on our line today. Let me get back to that in a minute. Let's jump into the demo real quick, okay? So here's a workspace that's actually preloaded with some data. So you see device health over here. There's update compliance. And then there's upgrade readiness. The reason there's two blades of upgrade readiness is we have a blade here that's set up with features that are not yet released in production. So what I'm going to do here is drill into upgrade readiness first, and then we're going to have Mark come up and actually walk you through update compliance and device health. Okay? So the first thing you do is you come into upgrade readiness, and you see an overview blade, and this is where you see the number of devices that you have in your environment, the number of machines that have upgraded. You have the ability to actually go in and set a target version of the OS that you're trying to go to. Okay? Remember, upgrade readiness is a planning tool. So you basically set where you're trying to go to, and then based on the data we have, we are going to do the analysis of, are the apps ready, are your drivers ready, and then based on that information, are your machines ready to go to the target that you're trying to go to. Okay? So in this case, the target is set to Windows 10 1703. Okay? And then in this workspace, all the computers are upgraded. This is a good enterprise. But I'm going to come back to this apps piece. So 5,000 machines, about 8,000 apps. Okay? Very typical commercial scenario, right? Thousands of apps. You don't know how to rationalize it, analyze it, and this takes a lot of time to go through all of these apps and make sense of them. Okay? So one of the key feedbacks we hear from customers is, hey, we look at how many machines is the app installed on and try to make some analysis of which apps are important. Okay? So we said, great, we're going to take that and we're going to make that available in upgrade readiness. So what we did was we looked at all the apps that are installed on less than 2% of the machines. Okay? So in this case, it's like 100 machines. If an app is installed on less than 100 machines, we actually move them to a low install count bucket. Okay? So if you look at that, that basically took care of like 95% of your apps and left you with a lot less, a lot more manageable number of apps, which are on a lot more machine installs. And that's the area that you need to go focus on. Okay? Now, I get the question always, hey, what if some critical app got swept into this low install count bucket? No problem. You can go search for it, and you can move it out of the low install count bucket and then get back into the review mode. Okay? So you've got about 600 apps, and what I'm going to show you is this app filter or funnel that we build to help customers arrive at where to focus their test effort on or their app compat effort on. Okay? So you got about 600 apps here. The next step is to understand which of these apps have issues. Okay? So in Microsoft, we actually do a lot of extensive testing on apps, at least the most popular apps. And we have a database of apps that have known issues on specific OS builds. Okay? What we've done in upgrade readiness is actually share that data with all of you. So as you can see, there's about 24 apps where we know of an issue. And in some cases, we also know that there is a fix available. So for example, here's a Checkpoint Network Extender app. And it has an issue. We know that it does not work on 1703. And if you look at the guidance, what it's going to tell you is, in this case, we found that if you reinstall the app on the new OS, it'll work just fine. The same version of the app. Okay? So what we've done here is we are sharing this guidance with you so that you don't end up spending time testing this app again. Okay? So we started off with 600 apps, and we told you about 25 apps that had issues. Okay? It's not very impressive. I told you about a handful of apps. So we go down here to what I'm calling the low-risk apps and drivers. Okay? If you look here, there's a service that we started called Ready for Windows. Okay? Anybody know about Ready for Windows? Okay? A few people. Okay? I'm going to show you what Ready for Windows does. Okay? So on top of the app compat concerns, most commercial customers are worried about whether the app has been declared supported by the app developer itself. Okay? So what we've done is we created this service called Ready for Windows, where these app developers could come in and declare support for their apps. Because most commercial customers are looking for support statements about their apps and whether they run on Windows 10. So if you see, there's about 4 apps that actually have a support statement. So I'm gonna drill down here. The first one is WinRAR, popular app in the enterprise. And then if you go and look at this column, it says ready for Windows. There's a supported version available, and there's a link next to it. I'm gonna click on this link to see what it does. And you can see, hey, here are the various versions of WinRAR running in the wild. And this is information, again, from telemetry. And then on top of it, we know that WinRAR has actually declared support on it. And what we've done is if you click on the Learn More link, it'll take you to WinRAR's website where they've explicitly declared support on Windows 10. Okay. This way, we make it easy for you to discover all the apps that are supported out there. Okay. On top of that, what if your app developer has not declared support? In those cases, what we've done is we make telemetry data available to you about all the versions of this app running in the Win 10 ecosystem. And then we didn't want to put the number of instances of this app running. So what we did was we basically bucketized them into these statuses called adopted and highly adopted. Adopted means the version of the app is running healthy on a Windows 10 machine and at least 10,000 instances of Windows 10 commercial machines. Okay? Just commercial machines, not consumer. Highly adopted means the app is running on 100,000 commercial machines and it's running healthy. The way we tell whether it's running healthy is we don't observe any crashes and we see robust usage of the app in the ecosystem. So we created this as a confidence signal for commercial IT admins to consider as they're doing their app analysis and upgrade readiness. Okay? And then while we are here, I'm going to show you one more thing about Ready for Windows. Actually, 2 more things about Ready for Windows. Okay? So Ready for Windows, the homepage looks like this. It's readyforwindows.com. It actually redirects to Dev Center, which is our developer.microsoft.com website. There are a couple of changes we recently made. We heard feedback from our commercial customers saying, hey, we really care about these critical app categories, our antivirus, our VPN. Those are the categories that always trip us up as soon as the new build of Windows 10 comes out. That's the first thing that we put on our machine, and if those apps don't work, then there's no point in moving forward. Okay? So what we did is we worked with our partners, our closest partners in every category, and we put all of these categories right here on the homepage. Okay? So that you can easily go in and find the software that you're using, and then can tell yourself whether you feel confident about moving forward or not. So that's number 1. The second thing we heard is about Office. Okay. We've done a lot of work for Windows, but we're also trying to do more work with Office. And one of the common Office compat concerns is around add-ins. So we work with the Office compatibility team to actually bring the Office add-in information into Ready for Windows. And this is fresh off the press. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. So you go in and search for OneNote. I can pick Office add-in. And you can find stuff about OneNote add-in. Okay. This is available in Ready for Windows today. We have not yet integrated it into upgrade readiness, but we plan to do that in the next couple of months, so that you could click in upgrade readiness and be able to find information about Ready for Windows status immediately. Okay? Only for your enterprise, rather than coming to the website and searching for 1 or 2 add-ins on the Ready for Windows website. Okay? Let me go back here. So once again, I started with about 600 apps that needed attention. 24 of them had issues. And if I go back here, it tells me about 478 for them either have a support statement or have a Ready for Windows signal of highly adopted or adopted, which means they're running healthy on at least 10,000 Win 10 machines or 100,000 Win 10 machines. Okay. That basically took away 500 apps that I don't have to worry about right now. Right? I have some sort of a confidence signal that tells me these apps are working fine on Windows 10, the target version that I'm trying to go to. That leaves me with about 100 apps that I need to go focus my energy on. And most commonly, those apps are your internal apps or your line of business apps that we don't necessarily know a lot about, but that's probably the right focus for you to go in and actually put that through your validation process to make sure that you're confident. And they're probably also your business critical apps that you don't want them to break if you were to go do an OS upgrade. But the point of this is, it takes away the rationalization process from like thousands of apps down to like 100. Okay? And that's the type of insight we're trying to drive with upgrade readiness here today. Okay? I'm going to show you a couple more things. We hooked up this blade called Prioritize App and Driver Testing. We constantly hear feedback about, hey, a machine can have multiple issues, and if I go in and actually fix an issue, the machine doesn't necessarily get unblocked to go get upgraded. Right? Can you help us on the order in which we need to go in and address these issues so that I can maximize the number of machines moving to ready to upgrade state without spending a lot of time on these issues? So what we did was we created this. It's behind the insight, there's a complex statistical model on how many machines have how many issues, and then we basically rank them. So if you look at it, you see the rank on this right-hand side. So basically what we're trying to tell you is, hey, if you went in and basically unblocked 123 apps and drivers, then you would move 10% of your machines over to the ready to upgrade state. And if you were to unblock 500 or so apps and drivers, then you basically get 80% of your environment moved over. Okay? So that's a great type of insight for you to drill in. And then when you drill in, you could see the rank and how many machines it'll actually unblock, and then you can start making some decisions on how you want to approach your process. So here's an action plan. So if you look at it, like there's a bunch of apps, when you start off, it starts off slow. You only move like one machine over, and then suddenly you start seeing more and more machines move over, and then that's the way to just keep on making progress until you move 10% of your ecosystem over or more. The other consideration over here is I have not yet moved any of my apps that had a low risk over to ready to upgrade state. So if I go in and flip those over, those apps won't show up over here, and then you'll see more and more machines actually in ready to upgrade state already. One other thing that customers ask us is, hey, we don't really analyze hundreds of thousands of machines together. We always look at them in groups. And OMS does have the capability for you to either group inside of OMS or bring your group information from other deployment management tools like SCCM. So if you have collections in SCCM, you can bring those collections over selectively. And then once those groups are brought over, you can look at all of these data for that group. Okay. So that's another mechanism for you to analyze. So I just wanted to mention that here. There's a lot more documentation about how to configure groups and also use the SCCM connector to bring the collections over. I want to kind of spend some time on the new stuff. So here's the new stuff. So you've already did all the app and driver rationalization. You've kind of marked everything ready. You moved a bunch of machines to ready to upgrade state. You basically got that over to config manager and then started your deployment process. Okay. One of the key things that was missing is, how is my deployment going and how do my machines look like once they're upgraded? Okay. So what we've done is we've hooked up these 3 insights over here. So the first one is about just update progress. Right? Hey, I started upgrade or update on this machine. How is it doing? Okay. And in many, you'll see always a small number of machines will fail an update. Okay, and what we're trying to do is focus your attention on any machines that require your attention. So, for example, here's like 41 machines that failed an update. Okay, so you could go in and drill down and see what the problem is. Hey, disk space requirement not met. Most common occurrence when you start an update. Not enough disk space. System does not pass disk space requirement. Let's find another interesting one. The user has chosen to cancel, so it seems like the user came in and canceled this. Okay, so you can basically drill into what the failure reasons are. That way you could go in and take action on these machines and get them on the right path to update. The second blade in this section is about driver errors. Okay. And this is an area where the classic IT method is, hey, upgrade the machine, and then crack open your device manager and look for the yellow bangs. Does that sound familiar? Yeah. So here what we're doing is we're using the power of analytics. What we're going to say is, hey, if a yellow bang appears on a machine, we're going to aggregate all of that information over here in this insight. Okay. That may be because somebody forgot to bring the right driver down, or the driver's there but didn't start or didn't install. Okay. All of those reasons could cause a driver error. And what we want to do is actually bring that up front, because this could, not having the right driver or not having the right driver work will impact how peripherals will work. Printers may go out, your keyboard, mice, all of these peripherals may stop working. Okay. So what we're trying to do is bring attention again to things that need your attention to go in and fix. Okay. And then lastly, what we did, and this is our newest feature, is we wanted to go hook up user feedback. So on Windows 10, there's actually an app called Feedback Hub. Is anybody familiar with Feedback Hub? Yeah? So what Feedback Hub does is you could go in and give feedback, and that feedback right now goes back to Microsoft. Okay? You can give feedback saying, hey, this app is broken, or my peripheral stopped working, and all of this feedback just goes to Microsoft. And what we do is we pick up those feedback, and we share it with our app developers or our OEMs or IHVs if it requires a driver attention. What we've done here is we're trying to hook up the feedback mechanism so that it goes to the IT admin in the customer, in the customer company. Okay? So what we've done is you've upgraded a bunch of users, and these users can give you feedback saying, hey, I saw that my machine's upgraded. This app is no longer working. Okay? Or, hey, my mice is not working anymore. So I'm gonna click on this. So there's a couple of things in here. So here's somebody who's complaining that they can't play music anymore on Groove. Right? One of the things is not only did one person report it, there were two other people who came in and upvoted it. So you kind of know the severity of the issue, because depending on how many people are upvoting it. Okay? And then on top of it, without you doing anything, there's already a Microsoft response saying, hey, thanks for your feedback. There's actually a known issue. And then all you need to do is go and update your application. Okay? So in this case, you're already benefiting from knowing that Microsoft is on top of it and has already found a remediation for this issue. Okay? So that's what exists today. And what we're doing in the future is there's also a column for partner response. So if it's an app that belongs to a third party, we're going to be able to pass the feedback over to this third-party app developer. And the third-party app developer will be able to come in and put in a response saying, hey, we're aware of this problem, we're working on it, or suggest a remediation for the issue. Okay? And we want to actually start creating this real-time feedback loop so that your users, you're tuned into what your users are experiencing as soon as you upgrade their device. Okay? So at this point in time,
Yeah, this is the new stuff, and I'm gonna show you a couple more things. There's Office add-ins. There's an inventory of Office add-ins, which we're gonna go in and hook up with ready for Windows Office add-in stuff that I showed you. And then lastly, we have the IE site discovery insights hooked up over here. This will tell you the insights about your web apps. The site discovery portion of upgrade readiness is an opt-in feature, and it's turned off by default because of the sensitivity of the information. We don't want employees to feel that you're snooping on them by collecting stuff. On top of it, we also have controls to say only collect intranet sites, which is what we see most customers doing is they want to know what are the internal web apps that their user base is using, and then which ones they need to go focus on for validation efforts. On top of it, we will tell you site compatibility insights. So if you have a site that is operating in legacy mode, let's say IE5, IE7 mode, then we will tell you what dock mode it's using. And it's a modernization decision for you on, hey, do you want to go in and spend time upgrading the site, or at least you should be aware that it's going to require some intervention to go add it to the enterprise mode. So that's pretty much everything that I wanted to show you about upgrade readiness. I'm going to pop over to this demo mode that I want to show you, see if I can make it work. Seems like not my lucky day, but there's actually one of the key feedbacks we hear from customers is, hey, I've gotten OMS workspace, I've got upgrade readiness in there, but there's no data, and I really don't want to put my machines on there. I'd rather want to go start playing around with this stuff before I start putting my own machines. So what we did is we hooked up this demo mode feature. And if you go under solution settings here, I clicked too fast, let me show you. So if you go under upgrade readiness, you're going to see the solution settings button on the top. If you click on it, you're going to see demo mode. Okay? If you enable it and then press save, what you're going to see is within about 10 to 15 minutes, we're going to load your workspace with about 5,000 machines and apps associated with 5,000 machines. The stuff that I was demoing earlier, all of that data gets preloaded into your workspace. Okay? So that you can go in and play around with it and get comfortable with the views and the insights and potentially go convince your leadership that, hey, this is useful. Okay? And then you can also go show your compliance and InfoSec folks what is the kind of data that we are collecting with the service. And then once you're done, you can disable it, and at that point in time, you can onboard your machines, and they'll start showing up in the workspace. So we kind of enable this feature to help customers play around with their data on their own without necessarily going to a demo site where a lot of stuff is read-only. Okay? So what I want to do at this time is actually invite Mark, and he'll walk you through update compliance and device health. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Rama. Okay. So Rama just showed you upgrade readiness, and that's the oldest solution we have. So we built that one and shipped it to the public about a little over a year ago, and it's been GA for about 6 months. We've been working on a whole bunch of complementary analytics as well. The upgrade analytics will get your down-level devices from Windows 7 or up to Windows 10. And then how do you keep them running smoothly when you're on Windows 10? So we built a couple of new solutions. One is update compliance. It'll help keep you current after you're at Windows 10. And the other is called device health. So while you're updating all these machines, how do you ensure end users don't have any problems like blue screens or app crashes or problems like that? And we'll look at some of the problems that can be solved and remediated with device health. So first, looking at update compliance, the way this is built is it's a hub and spoke model where first thing is we show you some common issues that may be affecting your machines. If you have devices that are missing multiple security updates. It's very common that a device doesn't have the latest security update because when you first roll it out, it takes a little while to deploy. But if it's missing multiple security updates, especially in this Windows 10 roll-up world where everything's a cumulative update, that's probably a problem. So we'll show you that. If updates have failed to install, or if progress has stalled on the update, meaning it's in the install mode, but it's sort of stuck there for a long period of time. We can show you those problems so you can remediate them. Some of the other ones are security update status. So for the security update status, we'll show you how you're doing with respect to the quality updates, but every other update in the roll-up is a security update. And the one that's the most interesting is this one, which is showing you which ones are missing the last 2 security updates. So if there's somebody that's missing the last 2 security updates, there's something wrong, and why did it go wrong? You could drill down, click through to find a list of devices that are missing those updates. Come back to that. Excuse me. Device compliance. Feature update status. This will show you all your devices, which version of Windows 10 are they on, and if there are any problems with the updates on this. If you had, so the versions of Windows 10 go out of compliance after 18 months. So one of the things that this will, if there was any versions of Windows 10 that were out of compliance, this would show you that on the list as well so that you know whether you're still in compliance. This data set here is actually MSIT. It's actually our Microsoft data. It's just been anonymized with different computer names. So right now we don't currently have any machines that are in an unsupported build. Finally, there's Windows Defender AV status, where we'll show you if you have devices that are using Defender, if the signatures are out of date, over 14 days old, if there were threat remediations that were successful or that failed. We'll show you some information about that so you can drill down and take remediation action on those devices. So a lot of this stuff you can get from existing management tools like SCCM, for example. The thing that's unique here is that the common complaint is that for the SCCM devices, when the devices are on the road, they don't check in very often. And this will give you sort of a holistic view of all your devices, whether they're SCCM managed, whether they're managed directly by Microsoft Update, and even if they're on the road. So that's what this will buy you. Plus, it gives you a little bit more about the support statement for the current branches. Device health is the very last one we released. We just released this about 3 months ago. How many are familiar with device health? Okay, a few people, it's good. So the idea is while you're getting current and staying current, are your end users being disrupted? So this gives you a chance as an IT pro to be the hero for the end user by proactively addressing supportability problems across a variety of devices. You can reduce your support costs and you can become the hero to the end user and improve their experience and productivity. So the first couple of insights we went after, the first one was blue screens. So we call that device reliability. You'll see here, it'll show you a list of devices that have crashed in the last couple of weeks. What we see is that typically, for most orgs, it's about 5 to 8% of their devices will have crashed once in the last 2 weeks. So most of them don't. 95% don't crash. Of the ones that crash, usually it's one crash. But there's a small number of devices that are just unhealthy and that are crashing a lot. So in this case, this first device, Barba GR, it's crashed 97 times, and this is actually a real device. It's just the name's been anonymized in MSIT. So this is an unhealthy device that probably needs to be flattened or replaced. And so this can tell, this is mostly a scenario for VIP devices, because in IT you're not managing one device at a time, but you may have some ones that are important, or you may have a corporate executive who you want to make sure proactively that there's not a problem with their device. In terms of taking proactive insights on a variety of wide swath of devices, it turns out device drivers cause the most crashes. And being able to find the device drivers that cause the most crashes and take action on them can lower the crash rate for a large number of devices. As many of you using SCCM know, deploying new device drivers with SCCM isn't the easiest thing in the world. So the idea here is it can show you just the ones that you really need, so you can target the effectiveness of it. If you click through one of these drivers, what you'll see is a bit of information about the driver itself, the make and the model and who did it, and then the crash rate trending over time. But the more interesting thing is you can see, in this particular case, all the different versions of the driver you have installed in your org, and what's the crash rate for each of those drivers. So you can see this driver here, the 20.19 version, it's installed on 1,200 machines, and it's crashing a little less than 1% of the machines it's installed on. So that's not a bad driver. This one here is installed on 1,154 machines, and it's crashing about 10% of them. So that's probably not a good one. And so the idea here is, by giving you visibility into it, you can see if there's a later version of the driver available that maybe has a lower crash rate, and then take action on it. And we'll come back to how MSIT used this data in a little bit. Another interesting point is you can actually drill through the overall crash data and have a look at how's your crash rate compared to commercial average for similarly configured devices. So you see here, I'm doing a little bit worse than similarly configured devices, which you can filter. I wonder how my Dells are doing, and find out, like, oh, the Dells those are pretty healthy devices. So you can slice and dice by OS version, by device model, and start to get that kind of drill down. The last thing that we shipped here was Windows Information Protection App Learning. I don't know how many of you have been experimenting with Windows Information Protection or trying to roll it out, but the idea there is you have a whitelist of workplace apps, and if end users try to copy data from a workplace app to a non-workplace app, they get a warning saying, hey, you probably shouldn't be doing this. So that's the idea of Windows Information Protection. One of the things that you want to be able to do is to know if there's an app that a lot of users are copying to, so you can get rid of that prompt, because the prompt's going to be disruptive. So this will give you those insights as well. So that's what we got so far. I wanted to point out, this is in our own org, MSIT, they've used device health analytics to reduce the crashes caused by device drivers. There was this network driver, network04.sys. It was the top crasher within MSIT. It was crashing about 4,000 devices every 2 weeks. And they used the analytics I just showed you to find a newer, better version of the driver. They deployed it, and now that driver causes something like 150 crashes every 2 weeks. So it's gone down dramatically. So that was a big success story for how we used it internally. We're just getting started with the device health stuff. So what's coming next in the very near future, we're going to be releasing app health. So the idea with app health is very similar to OS health. We'll show you the crash rate by the different app versions on the different OS versions. So you can mix and match and tune to the right version, right? You can make sure you don't roll out the new version of the OS until it has the right, right enough crash rate, et cetera. Or sometimes you want to just deploy the newest version of the app. So we'll give you those insights. And then the other one that we're working on, and again, we're hoping to release both of these in the next couple of months, is called Login Health. So the idea here is You've given your end users a wide variety of login options. They can log in with a name password, maybe with PIN, maybe you're rolling out Windows Hello so you can move to a world without passwords. Which ones are your end users adopting? What % of them are using each of the login types? So you get an idea of what their preference is. What's the success rate? What's the authentication time to log in? So we give you all those insights as well as what are the top errors that are problems for login. And this way you can fix those proactively and provide a better login experience for your end users. In more broad strokes, we're actually going after a much broader set of analytics. You've seen the rapid acceleration of the analytics we've released over the last year, and we've got a whole bunch more in store. We're going broader. We're going deeper with Office integration and device management integration, so you could sort of take action on these insights in context. We want to operationalize device rings to move to what we call internally a red button deployment model. So right now it's plan, then hit go. We want to get to the point where you've set things up in rings, they just flow through and you hit stop if you see a problem. So we're going to be tuning the analytics in those directions. And then we want to have deeper and broader root cause analysis and auto alerts. So rather than having to wade through all the analytics and see the problems, we give you an alert when something happens. OMS, with OMS log analytics, which we're hosted in, you can actually set up your own alerts right now, but it would be nice if we just ship those in the box. And then extensibility, because we've heard from a lot of customers, hey, I'd like to join, there's great analytics data, but I have my own data sets in SCCM and AAD and my own head tracks database or HR database or incident database. How can I join them together? So that kind of extensibility is something on our mind as well. So this is broad strokes and where we're going. So a lot of people ask about privacy. Does this work offline? No, this is a cloud service. This is connected to our telemetry service. And then the next question is, what are you doing for our privacy? So we support the Microsoft Online Privacy Statement. It's a strong privacy statement where we commit not to use the data for advertising, not to disclose it, except for under very specific cases. We protect your data with security and encryption. Ultimately, we give you the control of what level of telemetry you're willing to share with us. You can turn it off, you can not participate in this, or you can turn it on and share with us. Most of the upgrade and the update compliance only require basic telemetry. Device health requires enhanced telemetry, but we've added a new policy in Windows 10, the one that we're about to release, that lets you tone down the enhanced telemetry to just the events that we need for Windows Analytics. And those are fully transparent. So we document all the basic events. We're about to document all the enhanced events that we use that will be at this new telemetry policy. And we've just shipped a viewer tool that lets you see them on devices. So we believe in transparency and control as the basic philosophy. So per solution requirements, upgrade readiness, that's the one that goes down level. So that's the one we recommend everybody start with because most of you are on Windows 7 today. It only requires basic telemetry, and licensing-wise, this is the best news, doesn't cost anything. You deploy your OMS workspace, and then Windows Analytics is 0 rated within that, so it doesn't cost you anything extra. You can use it on all your devices. Update compliance, that's what you can use after you get up to Windows 10. It also just needs basic telemetry, runs on any Windows device that you can deploy the policy to. Device health requires enhanced telemetry, but like I mentioned, we're going to have a new telemetry policy that lets you dial down the enhanced events to a very, very small number. And it's attached to an E3 or an E5 license. So it's not going to be enforced per seat. If you have 100 E3 licenses, you can use it on 100 devices, even if some of those devices themselves are not E3. They could be pro devices, for example. So if you're rolling out Windows Analytics, this is what we recommend you do. First, we fully document all the events that we need. So first step is usually if you have a compliance team, run by the events with them to make sure they're comfortable with what we're collecting. Use the viewer tool to make sure that that is what's being collected. Then set up an OMS workspace. Each OMS workspace once you set it up, will have a GUID in it called a commercial ID, and it identifies the workspace. So you then have to deploy that GUID to a bunch of devices, and that tells us where to route the telemetry to say, okay, we're going to route it to this OMS workspace. So you do that to a few devices. We recommend using a deployment script that we've created, because the deployment script can tell if there's conflicting policy that's trying to turn off telemetry, or if your network configuration isn't set up right to reach our telemetry endpoints, or if for down level, if you don't have the right KB installed, there's a certain KB you need for down level. Windows 10, you don't need that. So we recommend you start to deploy a small sample of devices with a deployment script. After that, you can go broad with SCCM or Intune or group policy, because you're really just setting a commercial ID and a telemetry level on all the devices. So it's just policy. So the key takeaways from the session, hopefully you've seen the value that Windows Analytics can bring in terms of lowering your cost of ownership. It'll help you more easily get to Windows 10, stay current once you're at Windows 10 with update compliance, and stay healthy. We're very committed to your privacy with transparency and control. We're really just getting started. So there's a broad set of analytics already available, but we got a lot more that we're working on actively. And the call to action is start with upgrade readiness now. And then once you start to roll out machines to Windows 10, you'll have these other two solutions to take advantage of as well. There's a slew of other sessions about Windows Analytics that we'd encourage you to go to. So if you haven't seen them, or if they were in the past, and you could watch the video, but there's a lot of other information. We have a great TechNet website that you can reach by going to our marketing website. So it's called aka.ms.windowsanalytics. If you go there, it's got a quick overview, but then it links to TechNet articles that have all sorts of information about deployment and usage. And we have a whole bunch more information about the diagnostic events we capture. So that's it. We'll take questions now.
Hi. Just wondering, the app health, will that be for Windows apps or for desktop apps as well?
It's for Windows desktop apps. I mean,
So not just Windows Store apps, I mean.
Not just Windows Store apps, no. It's going to be Win32 apps as well.
Great.
For targeting, I'll just say it. For targeting Office add-ins,
Yes.
will you allow us to set the target version of Office like you set the target Windows version? So if I want to evaluate going 64-bit,
Yes.
things like that.
So if you look at the Ready for Windows website, there is a toggle to go check for statuses for 32-bit add-in versus 64. We'll actually bring that information into upgrade readiness as well. Yes, go ahead.
Hey, so I think it was something that Mark was showing, the driver crash data.
Yeah.
And there was a number like 1100 something that you had pointed out. So, the device health is basically post-deployment, something you look at post-deployment, but that looks like good data for upgrade readiness when you're looking at your apps and drivers, your validation. Is that information basically the same thing you would see in upgrade readiness, like in terms of that crash data? Because it looks like it would be useful also for upgrade readiness. Were those sort of the same sort of data sets?
The data sets are a little bit different. In upgrade readiness, it's showing you what you would see for problems in your driver, like in Device Manager, which could be that the driver, like sometimes the driver stops working, but it doesn't actually crash the OS. What we're showing you is the drivers that are actually bringing down the OS. It is a good point, though, that we're showing one aspect of driver health in one solution, another aspect of driver health in another solution. One of the things that our teams are working on as a sort of important V-next is to bring all the solutions together so that the schemas are more aligned and the UI is more aligned, so you can see all of that in the same place. But right now, they are two different. One is the driver itself, It's almost like you can think of it as like an app level problems for the driver versus the driver taking down the OS.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, could you speak up at the mic?
Just a suggestion. You've got the Power BI export now, so you could export both data sets and then view the driver and which devices it's actually on, if you wanted to combine that now before you've got your track ready.
That's right. You could
Yeah.
export the data and join this in Power BI if you want.
Yeah, there is good reasonable Power BI integration with OMS, so that is one opportunity. Everything that you see in the UI here is queryable through OMS because OMS has a public query language and a public API for getting all the data. It has Power BI export. The thing with Power BI export is you can only export like 5,000 records at a time, or and you have to keep publishing the data set. So one of the things that we're been looking at directionally is for Power BI to be able to query directly against the data store, sort of like a SQL data store. This way you're not pushing data unnecessarily, and you have less latency. So that's on the roadmap as well.
Sure, go ahead.
I think that answered my question regarding the possibility of getting data out there.
Yes.
Is it right that using only Power BI is the possibility, or is an other API to export the data to ServiceNow, whatever tool the customer is using?
The OMS platform actually allows you to use Azure Resource Manager APIs, ARM APIs, and you can basically export the whole data set using ARM APIs.
Okay, thank you.
But be aware, when they have a limit. They do a lot of throttling. So you used to only be able to export 5,000 records at a time. I think they've just recently updated it with Custo to 10,000 records at a time. But the whole API is scriptable, so you can always write a script that goes blah, 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 bit by bit. But I think that's a short-term Band-Aid. Really the right long-term is for Power BI to be able to query directly against it, and then you can get much richer set of data.
Could you say anything about the timeline for that?
I would say within the next year.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi. To take advantage of any of the things that were shown, are there any hardware requirements on the workstations? Like, for example, the TPM module being a specific firmware? None of that?
There's nothing. I mean, we're basically just collecting data, whatever is available on the machine.
Mm-hmm.
So there's really no hardware requirements.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I saw, I work with a lot of customers, and one thing that you see in a lot of organizations are they have their own customized dashboard to report software update deployments, successes, failures, et cetera. Have you guys thought about expanding the software update, I don't know if it's a blade or what you call it there, to report, kind of get insight on user behavior? So for example, users have been deferring the reboot.
Yes.
They're getting prompted, but they're deferring it, and maybe they can isolate and figure out what machines they are, and kind of change that type of behavior in the organization. Machines that have not rebooted, period, that users are just closing and going to standby. They haven't rebooted at all. You guys looking into expanding to understand what the actual user behavior out of this may be that could be concluded from the statistics?
That's a good idea. And as Mark was mentioning, there's a broad set of things that we're looking at doing. One of the things is user behavior. But it's a little bit further out because once you get into user territory, privacy and security and compliance become a lot higher in terms of the bar.
Well, as long as you leave the data anonymous.
That's right.
Yeah.
For the particular case of why is the update not getting installed, there is an update view. I think I showed very briefly, which will show you if an update's been installed or hasn't been
rebooted.
What's it called? If it's in that in progress state for too long, pending state for too long, and so I don't know if that particular drill down, the user behavior, is in there, but that's a good idea. I'll take that back to the team.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
I was just told that to trial it, it's a 500 meg data limit. But you said something about this won't go against the data cap? Or?
Yeah. So first of all, there's three versions of OMS you can get. You can get the free version of OMS, which has a 500 meg data limit, and that holds your data for a week. If you get that version, our data doesn't count against the 500 meg limit.
Okay.
You can also get a 1-month version of OMS, and that'll hold the data for a month, and it'll cost you $2.50 a gigabyte in ingestion time. Our data doesn't count towards that $2.50 a gigabyte. Or you can get the 1-year subscription, which holds the data for a year. They'll charge you $3.50 per gigabyte ingested. Our data doesn't count towards that ingestion limit either. So no matter which version of OMS you get, using Windows Analytics on it won't cost you any money if you just use it for Windows Analytics.
Okay.
So
Great.
We've seen customers using it to onboard hundreds of thousands of machines.
Right.
No limit on the billing.
Great. Yeah, I'll take that back. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Don't do the free version. The 500 meg limit they mentioned doesn't count. There's also a 250 machine upload per day on the free version. I started on that. We switched to the per gig. And we got like 2,500 workstations. They're saying it's not going to count.
Enough about that. So with the, how do I get into it for the device health and the?
how do you get it?
Yeah.
Do you already have upgrade?
Already got the upgrade.
If you've already got upgrade readiness, then it's super easy. All you have to do is go to your OMS workspace in Solution Gallery. You'll see 2 more tiles, one for upgrade readiness and one for device health.
Add the solutions.
Just add them. That's all you got to do. One thing, though, to be aware is that the upgrade compliance only works on Win 10 devices, so that you'll see a smaller number of devices applicable, and then the device health only works on Win 10 and enhanced telemetry devices. So it's maybe a smaller subset.
That was the secondary question. Do I have to do a newer telemetry package, or what I have is going to work? It's going to continue to work?
For devices to show up in device health, they have to be at enhanced telemetry.
Okay.
If you can't get enhanced telemetry by your security or compliance folks.
I won't tell them.
Okay.
We didn't have this conversation. So
if you can't, I'm just saying we have a new telemetry policy for
coming in the
next,
next,
that's coming next month.
Yeah. I'm not patient enough for that.
Okay.
But so I just download the advanced telemetry is a newer package I have to download.
It's not there's a group policy for Windows 10.
Okay.
Called telemetry level.
Okay.
And you can set it to 0 for turning it off. You set it to 1 for basic telemetry. We need it set to 2.
To 2.
For enhanced.
Is that an option that was in the original PowerShell deployment?
Yes. In the PowerShell, there is there's a Win 10 section that you can go in and set.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
The second one, I was talking to your guys down in the hall, and I was watching Zach bang out code for writing queries.
Yeah, Zach is phenomenal.
And I think posting more of those.
Yes.
A community site saying, here are great queries that we use every day.
Yeah.
Because I don't use that language
Yep.
at all. And the last one that I've been pushing just the feedback on, you're getting really close to what I want in showing us the unlocking devices when you do that.
Mm-hmm.
And you flip that to Mike Niehouse's call where, enterprises are seeing 99% success rate.
Yes.
I'm an engineering firm. That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
So my plan of testing is I'm not application testing. I'm doing machine size chunks. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'll upgrade a machine. If it works, great.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let the telemetry flow up.
Yep.
I'll find it. Mark everything ready for upgrade.
Yes.
So the way I want to do this is show me that minimum set of computers.
Yes.
That I want to update specific computers to get the most bang for my buck. And each time I get one, I have to recalculate. So we sent along to that group as feedback the Python code that we had our data scientists write, and I'm wondering, is there a way for you to include that? It's an iterative algorithm where it has to search it, so it's not SQL. I don't know if you've got the guys to write it in SQL, but
so we have a similar approach, and this is something that Mark touched on the future slide. There's a operationalize the device ring concept.
Yeah.
So we're going to let you configure these rings. And then we're going to let analytics actually inform you on which machines need to be part of what ring so that you can maximize this biggest bang for the buck concept that you're talking about, right? If I have these 100 machines in this earlier ring, then I get phenomenal app coverage, driver coverage. I got the right make and model of the hardware and everything covered. That way, once you upgrade these 100 machines, you feel confident that the rest of the 100,000 can go without any problem.
Right, or the next 5,000.
That's right. So that's the ring concept that we plan to bring.
Right.
And you're going to see that light up in the next few months.
And with the red button to stop it.
With the red button to stop it.
Totally on board with it.
Yep. Cool.
Love the analytics.
Perfect.
Analytics are great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any questions? Sir, you? Okay. Thank you so much for attending us. Oh, great. Please.
You showed an example in the OMS where a software did not work after you upgraded to Windows 10.
Yes.
So you had to reinstall it.
Yes.
So this was sort of a knowledge base in the OMS. So is this knowledge base available like the Ready for Windows site?
Yes, it is available on Ready for Windows site. So
in that detail? Because I was checking it out and...
Not the remediation guidance is not, but it will tell you that the software doesn't work. And the way the status that is set in Ready for Windows is contact the software provider. If you see that status set, it means that app would not work on the specific version of Windows.
Yeah, okay, but if I want to know more, I have to take a look in the OMS.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, that's the pull to get you in the OMS.
Yeah. I get it.
Any other questions? Thank you very much for your patience, guys.